Hello friends, welcome to our English class. Today we will be discussing on the poem A Photograph written by Shirley Toulson. It is a poem from the book Hornbill of class 11th. Let us first know the theme of the poem. The still pictures of our past that are captured in a camera work as a source of joy or sorrow of our past. A photograph at the same time evokes our smiles as well as our tears. Smiles when we remember those lovely moments of the past where we are carried by our recollections, and tears when we miss those persons with whom we had lived those moments, whether they are our friends or family members. The emptiness haunts our memories and tears flow down our eyes. Shirley Toulson here in this poem presents a touching scene where the memories of her mother rushes when she sees her photograph. She recollects her mother's happiness that she used to express when she herself saw her picture, in which her cousins held her hands from each sides when they had been to the sea for a sea holiday. The mother's happiness gives a warm comfort to the poet, but it also rends her heart as her mother is no more with her. The worth of a still picture can be realized. Now let's go through the summary of the poetry. The poet is looking at her mother's picture, which was clicked when her mother was just 12 years old. She had gone for a sea holiday with her cousins Dolly and Betty and her uncle. Her cousins went paddling, holding her mother's hand from each side when the picture was clicked. The three girls stood smiling. They were very beautiful. It was before the poet was born. The sea seemed to be washing the mortal feet of the three. Years fled, and the mother turned into an adult. All the three had undergone changes, but the sea was still the same. The sea holiday was a past for the poet's mother, and her mother's laughter was a past for the poet. This shows that both of them are at a loss of their happiness. The poet's mother would look at the picture nostalgically, and the poet also does the same. While watching the picture, both the poet and her mother felt happy as well as felt a pinch of pain at the same time. Her mother would recollect the moments of the sea holiday while looking at the picture and became happy. She felt sad also at the same time, thinking that her cousins Betty and Dolly are no more with her. The same way the poet feels happy while looking at the picture to recollect her mother's laughter, and then feels painful to think that her mother is no more with her as she was dead 12 years back. The feeling of joy and sorrow of the poet comes to a silence as the photograph is also silent. The loss of a mother silences the poet as she has nothing to say about her mother's death. After going through the summary of the poem Photograph, let us now discuss the textual questions. The first question is, what does the word cardboard denote in the poem? Why has this word been used? The word cardboard refers to a hard board in which the poet's mother's photograph was pasted. In olden days, photo frames were made in that way and had a glass attached to the wooden frame so that the photograph could be kept safe for a longer period of time. The second question is, what has the camera captured? The camera had captured the picture of the poet's mother and her cousins, Dolly and Betty. This picture was not only a picture, but it was an immortal moment of joy. Whenever the poet's mother saw this picture, she would be filled with the same emotions of joy that she had experienced with Betty and Dolly years ago. In other words, we can say that the camera had captured the moments of joy of the poet's mother, which she had experienced when she was a child of 12. The third question is, what has not changed over the years? Does this suggest something to you? The answer is, the sea has not changed over the years. When the poet says terribly transient feet, she refers to the ever changing imprints of human feet left on the sea sand. The sea never appears to change, but human life is always changing. It undergoes many ups and downs and is always subject to change. Human beings change physically and mentally with the passage of time. The imprints of human feet on the sea sand also change as different people visit the seashore at different times. Here, the poet wants to suggest the eternal state of nature and the transitory state of human beings that keep on changing with the passage of time. Question number 4. The poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. What did this laugh indicate? The answer is, whenever the poet's mother saw the snapshot, she laughed because she would recollect those moments of joy with Betty and Dolly in the sands of the sea. At that time, they were very young, but now, after 20-30 years, when she sees the snapshot, she finds everything ridiculous, their joys, their carefreeness, their innocence, their laughter, their dresses, everything seems to be peculiar. She compares the life of the past with the present and finds that things have changed drastically. Maybe she finds herself to be a child again, enjoying herself to the fullest. Question 5. What is the meaning of the line, both rye with the labored ease of loss? The answer to this question is, here both refers to the poet and her mother, and rye refers to the mingled sentiment of emotion, of disappointment and sorrow. The poet is sad to think that her mother's laughter has become a history for her. Her mother also feels the same when she thinks that her childhood days are gone. Both of them are disappointed and feel dejected over this loss. Question 6. What does this circumstance refer to? This circumstance refers to the death of the poet's mother. The poet does not want to say anything about her mother now because she is dead, and with her death, the poet has lost her laughter forever. Now she has nothing to say over her mother's death. So she becomes silent. The silence of the death silences her words, and she does not have anything to say about her mother now. Question 7. The three stanzas depict three different phases. What are they? The answer to this question is, the three stanzas depict three different phases of life. The first stanza depicts the mother's childhood days, the second stanza her adulthood, and the third stanza her death. These phases show us how transient human life is, and it's a cycle which each one has to undergo. A child grows into an adult and then dies, getting old.